Welcome back to the Fierce Fish First Tech Challenge programming tutorial series. Our goal in this series is to provide simple and straightforward guidance in programming an FTC robot. And in today's video, we are going to be creating a hardware class. Now, a hardware class basically declares and initializes all of your hardware that you're going to use only one time to be used in all of your op modes. I think it is honestly more effective and innovative than just declaring and initializing everything at the beginning of each of your op modes, because you only have to do it once here, and once one change is made here, it's changed in all your op modes. So let's create it. So of course, with anything, we have to declare our op mode members, and we have to do it just a slightly different. The only really difference here is we have to declare our things as public so that they can be accessed by our other classes. If they're not declared as public, they very well cannot be accessed by the other classes that we're using. So let's declare a DC motor. We're going to do a drivetrain. So let's do left drive motor and public DC motor, right drive motor. Just like that. And let's also do a servo, just to see the servo side of things. And I'm going to call it claw, because maybe it's a claw. Let's also do the IMU. And then, of course, with that, we'd have to do our orientation angles, like so. Now, let's also declare some variables for the servo to be input and used as. Now, this is done much differently, and I'm going to show you why and walk you through it. Of course, it has to be public. Now, static, we're going to declare it as static, and what static means is it belongs to this class and this class exclusively. Like, it can be used by the other classes, but it belongs to this class, and that's to make sure of that. And let's also declare it as final. Final is like it can't change. This is the value, that is it. So that if you try to overwrite it, it won't let you. And that's a very good thing to have. And double, of course, because servo's taking the double input. And I'm just going to call this one claw grab, and that is going to equal 1. And then, of course, we're going to do it again for the claw release. And let's say that's 0.4. All right. And now another thing we have to do for the hardware class is we have to declare a hardware map variable. Because this is not an FTC op mode, it does not have access to the hardware map, so we're going to have to get the hardware map imported from a different class, and we'll see that later. It'll make more sense to you later if you're confused. So then we're going to go hardware map, and let's just call it HW map. That's what I find the easiest, and yeah. So now well, not the last thing, but the last thing we have to do before we go into initialization is we have to create a constructor. And what the constructor does basically is it tells this class to declare itself before it actually goes in and does all the stuff within the class. So the constructor, you may not find much use with it. It may just be a pain to put there, but there is a huge use for it internally with the process that's going on. Of course, it must be public, and it is the name of your class. I just put hardware class tutorial with the parentheses and then the curly braces, because it's going to be empty, essentially. So now we have to initialize. So let's go public void init, just like an op mode, or just like iterative op mode. And the important thing here is we have to go hardware map, and this is the variable we created or declared up there, so that we can have access to the hardware map in here. So now we're going to initialize our hardware. And the only difference here between what we've normally been doing is how we declare the hardware map. And that's just going to look like this. It's just going to be HW map, and we have to make sure we do that and not the full hardware map, or else it's not going to work. Other than that, everything else is just like normal here. So okay, and let's do the servo. Just like that. And let's do the IMU parameters. And this is actually the exact same as we would normally do it. So everything looks the exact same. And I forgot what this, oh, I know what this is. Okay. And then we're going to initialize the IMU with our HW map. And we can do the class in here. It works the exact same. Nothing different. And then we can initialize parameters just like that. And then also here we can set the direction of our left one to reverse, and then we can also set the 0 power behaviors. Theoretically, since I'm not using this for anything, I don't have to do this, but I just want to show you that this can be done. And that is it for this class. Now, the next step is how do we use this class in an actual op mode, and we're going to go look at that now. So let's go into this I created over here. It's a linear op mode. And up here, usually you would declare like all of your variables and things, but we don't have to do that. We just have to declare our hardware class. So I called mine hardware class tutorial. Whatever you called your hardware class, that would be what goes there. And I'm gonna call this robot. This is the variable that we're creating for the hardware class. It will be referred to anytime we're doing something. So if you have like a name for your robot, I personally use FierceBot, but we're gonna use robot for this purpose. But that it's just referred to every time. So make sure it's something you're like comfortable with or used to. And that's gonna be like doing this is just like doing IMU parameters actually. You're just defining a new hardware class, and that's all you have to do up here. See how we've like went from way more than 5 lines typically to one single line. That's like insane difference. So now in here, in the run up mode, we're just gonna go robot.init, and we're going to do the hardware map so that the hardware map can be accessed by the class. So let's wait for start, and let me show you one more thing. Whenever you want to do something, you have to call the, what do I want to say? Yes, you have to call the robot variable we created. So say we want to set our left drive power. So it would have to be robot.leftDriveMotor.set power, and I can set the power there. And now let's say I wanted to set the claw position. Set position, it would be robot dot, I called it claw grab. And that is how you would do that. And that's basically everything. So that's going to be it for this video. We learned how to create a hardware class and then how to use that hardware class, how to do different things with the hardware that we've done in the hardware class. So yeah, from all of us here at Fierce Fish, we hope you have a great day.